Hello friend, this is Amit. Today I'm going to explain about SOAP SOAP related projects. So I will go through the very simple example, and there I will explain that how to expose the services, how to WSDL will be created, and how will access the particular services. So here before to going to deep to programmatical knowledge, I just want to explain about the few things through that we can understand the functionality and all. So generally what we are doing here, we are going to create two projects. That is a very core Java project, and here we are not using any other Java library. All the library defined by the Java Enterprise Edition itself. So we no need to do anything. Just here what we have to do, just right click here or go to the here file and just create a new Java project. So just Java project and just add the Java library JRE JDK system library informant, and we have to create a one client and one services. Through that we can create the services and we can expose the services. So for that I already created one client, that is a JaxWS RCB client. So here I have two classes, and there I am going to expose here in the JavaXWS RCB. Here I have few clients and something. So what generally we are doing, we just creating one interface. Through that we are publishing it, and through that we can utilizing it. So here few annotation is there, like a web service, SOAP binding, and here a style equal to document and RCP. I will explain in deeply. Just go through that code and nothing means I just want to explain that it which very simple, and we can create without adding any library, and we just have write a few code to create a WSDL and read the WSDL, and through that we can easily understand that how through SOAP protocol we can exchange our data. So as we see that all the web method, web service, SOAP binding dot style all come under the javax.jws. so this is come under this library system, JRE library system itself. It's a rt.jar file. If you check, then it and every service is already present here. So we no need to import any library, anything, just provide the Java runtime system environment, and through that we can we can run this our program very easily. So here JavaX related thing is there, JavaX image, yeah, this JWS and JWS SOAP. So JWS web services, JWS SOAP web services. So here all libraries available. So this library come under the JDK itself. So what exactly we are doing here, we just have to create one interface, and how many method you would like to create, you just have to add here as a web method binding, and you have to write its implementation here in hello class. And after that we will utilize the same class interface to write here implementation, and we can communicate each other. So here first we have to create this RCP, and after that through this client we can access that RCP. So once we create this interface, we can utilize the same interface in both the project. So here we have an interface where we will bind with web services and SOAP binding, and now we are using a document as a style equal to document. I will explain about this thing in deeply. For just for the overview I am just explaining right now, so I will explain in the deeply after that. So here I just created one web method. So @web method will bind that this particular method related to web services, and after that we have to write its implementation. So this is an interface, and this is a interface implementation. So hello world IMPL. So here hello world is interface is there, and its implementation is here. So we will write that implement hello world, and what exactly we want to return this method, that we will write like get hello world as a string, and we will pass the particular name, and we will return hello world ws and what the parameter will pass, we will just return. So we just override because we implemented hello world implementation, and that endpoint where exactly the particular endpoint is there, that com.visualpath dot this thing we will add, and here we will have to publish. So we have to write one interface, one its implementation, and one publisher class. So here we have a publisher class, public static void main, a string, this one. So we will just create one endpoint. So our endpoint will be created here, and through this method we can communicate. So once we will run this particular main class, that publisher will be ready, and we can go through this URL, and we can access the particular URL, and we will get the particular data. So once the publish, we will create one client. So client, we will again use the same exposure, same interface here. So just once you create an interface, just copy paste here, otherwise write the same interface, web service soap binding, and the same method here. And after that we have to write hello world client, and here few thing, either through that, either you just means the way we have to just want to access the particular WSDL, and how the WSDL is created and what exact thing is there. So we will go there and we will see that. So so this is a very simple. I'm not thinking you will get any problem to creating this thing. Once you will write the code, it will be successfully run, and I'm not thinking it will be create any problem. This is one of the very simplest programming. And once means you go through the REST services and all, you have to think about the means you have to compare with the logic and all, but here in the very straightforward SOAP related thing. And I just want to explain few thing, view a concept about. I just want to recall your concept, like SOAP is a XML based protocol for accessing a web service over HTTP, where we are before of that we are using a REST protocol. So their particular HTTP over or HTTPS over we can utilize, but here this is a SOAPs, that is a XML based protocol for accessing a web service, and it is also over the HTTP. So it has a specification which could be used across all the application. So SOAP is known as a simple object access protocol, as OAP, simple object access protocol. So this have some definition. Through that middleware we are creating a WSDL, that way we are also saying a WSDL. So through that WSDL we are communicating. So our method could not be directly hit like the REST. We are directly calling the particular endpoint, and we are hitting a directly particular method where we are specifying that a particular method URL, particular method type, either it is a post, either it is a get or kind of the method, and after that we are specifying what response is there and what request is there. So once we are hitting that URL, it's directly go to the particular method, and after that what the logic we will wrote here, according of that they will create a response and they will return back. But here in the web services, what exactly happening here, they are not directly going to hit the particular URL. They have a middle of that between the WSDL which is there. So anyhow, when we are publish that URL, or when our client want to access the particular URL, it could not hit directly our services. Middle of that one WSDL is there. So because of that, it is a very secure. Any call will not hit our particular application, and it could be could if it is a not hit our application, then most probably our application could not be affected. I could not really means data will be changed or something. So because of that only we are saying that SOAP is a very secure compared to particular REST. So in other words, in the definition, how the web services talk to each other or talk to the client application to invoke them. So SOAP was developed an intermediate language so that application built on the various programming language could talk easily to each other and avoid extreme development effort. So before of that, when I explain about that remote method invocation kind of thing or EJB kind of thing, then what they're exactly happening? The communication between the two application, both application well known and developed in the same kind of the technology. So exactly what happening? So if PHP application want to communicate with the PHP application, so they have some format, so both application can communicate. But think about that, if PHP want to communicate with the Java object, so Java object only Java application can understand, but PHP could not be understand. The same thing if PHP application would like to communicate with the .NET application, so again the same thing has happened. So here in the distributed application, when one application would like to communicate with the other application, and if they not understand about the structure of that particular object and transfer protocol kind of thing, so in this situation we could utilize a SOAP related project or kind of thing. So here middle of that we can introduce something like XML. So most of the application can understand the XML. Yes, the reading the way of the XML in Java it's a different, PHP is a different, but both know how we can parse the XML, how we can read the XML. So if we have a XML and through that XML we would like to exchange our data, then both application could understand, and they can application can change the information between the particular format. So we can change the data through the XML, we can change the data through the JSON kind of thing. Then already we see that in REST, but mostly what happen in here, so we interchanging our data through XML, and basically we are creating a WSTL, and through that other application can read that WSTL and can take that data, particular data. So SOAP was developed as an intermediate language, so that application built on various programming language could talk easily to each other and avoid extreme development effort. Actually what happened today world there is a huge number of applications that I already explained that which are built in different application. So here we just want to exchange our data through between application through the particular genuine structure, like a heterogeneous application also can understand. So few data like XML, JSON, YML kind of thing, all the application can understand, and we can achieve our targets. So one of the method used to combat the complexity of the XML as the intermediate language for exchanging data between the applications. So every programming language can understand the XML markup language, hence XML was used as underlying medium for the data exchanges. But there are no standard specification on use of the XML across programming languages for the data exchanging. We have a standard XML and we can create a standard XML for the all application. But how we can exchange the data through XML? There is no specific usage of XML across all the programming language for data exchanging. So that is where SOAP comes in. So SOAP was designed in work with XML over HTTP and have some sort of a specification which could be used across all the application. We will look into the further and we will see that how we are creating a WSTL, and once we will go to the WSTL we see that how the different way when we create a document and when we create a RCP style, so how the particular style will be affected. So here we will see that once we create it, and like here we are creating a document style and creating a RCP style. So what exactly is different and how the different WSTL will be created, we will see that. So actually advantage of SOAP is that, so SOAP is a protocol used for data interchanging between the application. So when developing a web services, you need to have some languages which can be used a web services to talk with the client application. So SOAP is a perfect medium which was developed in order to achieve the purpose. This protocol is also recommended by the W3C communities, which are the they are providing a standard application, like a standard format of the particular body of the all web standard related thing. So SOAP is the lightweight protocol that is used for data interchanging between the applications. So SOAP is based on the XML language, which XML language can understand by the different technology like .NET, PHP, Java Enterprise. So all at least understand about the XML languages. If we create XML languages, or if we create a XML document, I would like to means interchange between the application, then all the application can read. Maybe the parsing related thing is different in Java Enterprise application, and parsing is different in PHP, parsing is different in .NET, but they all can understand how the particular thing will be created. And other thing is, SOAP is a very lightweight protocol. Means once we will create a WSTL, it will be utilize a very few bandwidth kind of thing, and application can communicate with each other. So other thing is also that SOAP is designed to be a platform independent, and it is also designed to be a operating system independent. So the SOAP protocol can work any programming language based on the application on the both either Windows platform, Linux platform, Mac platform, any platform can it will be a work. So it is work on HTTP protocol over SOAP protocol, which is the default protocol used by all web application. Hence there is a sort of customization which is required to the run the web services built on the SOAP protocol to work on the worldwide web application. And one more thing, SOAP specification defines something like a SOAP message kind of thing. So we have to understand about that, means which is what to send in the web services and the client application. The particular diagram I would like to explain about that, how the means data exchanging, when we see that how the REST application is working. So when we send the particular packet through the put call, so they have the particular envelope that will be called that HTTP over put envelope. So in the put we are creating some header, and we have a body kind of thing, and all thing we have to put inside one particular envelope, and that envelope we can convert into the particular digital signal, and we could send into the other places in distributed environment. So here basic thing is that whenever any packet is traveling over the internet or traveling over the one place to another place, so we have to create one packet. So how the packet will be work? Main thing that how when we are sending our data over the web applications like a SOAP application and kind of thing, then how the envelope is created when we are creating a REST application. So HTTP envelope will be created. So HTTP envelope may be different for the get, put, delete, post option. So here SOAP also have a one envelope kind of thing. So I just have one diagram, a small diagram. So this is called SOAP envelope. So here this SOAP envelope, what exact thing is there? The SOAP message is nothing but it is a XML document which have the SOAP envelope, SOAP header, SOAP header blocks, SOAP body, like the what message kind of thing is there. So envelope element that identify the XML document as a SOAP messages, that is the containing part of the SOAP messages, and it is used to encapsulate all detail in the SOAP messages. This is the root element in the SOAP messages. So actually it have one in element, that envelope element, that is identify the XML document as a SOAP message. So SOAP message is nothing, it is just a packet that is called a envelope. So inside that envelope, this is a containing part of the SOAP messages, and it is used to encapsulate all the detail regarding to what the SOAP messages we would like to send. So this is a root element of the SOAP messages. Inside that SOAP messages, a header element is that. So this is called SOAP header element that contain header information. The header element can contain information such as authentication credential, which can be used by the calling application. It can also contain the definition of the complex type, which could be used in the SOAP messages. By default, SOAP message can contain parameter which could be a simple type such as a string and number, but can also be a complex kind of the object. So a simple example of the complex type of object, like suppose we wanted to send a structured data type which had a combination of two name, like a visual path and a visual path tutorial kind of thing. Then we would define a complex type as like XSDL complex type. We can create, I will explain about that once we'll go to the WSDL, we can easily understand. So we can define like we have to like a XST kind of thing. So XST will be fine, and we have a here I like that some kind of the data visual path we would like to create, visual path type. So we would like to create like that. So all of the required element of the structure along with their respective data type are they define in complex, means this particular visual path type. So like in the inside that we have other data, so we have to again create a XSD, and here we have to specify like what thing we want. Like we have one sequence, like we have one sequence, so we have to define sequence, and like XSD element we have a name type. So if we have like that, I just want to explain here, because when we go through the code it's a very easy to understanding. So again we have to XSD if we have and XSD elements we will start here. So element we have a name, and name is anything like we would like to store the name like customer name or C name, or particular type, what exactly this name. So this is the type of the string, and would like to close this line. So after that we will close this WSDL sequence, and we can after that we will close this. So WSDL sequence is closed here, and WSDL main envelope is closed here. So generally this is a WSDL kind of thing, and this is a only envelope, through that we will send our all the data. So actually we will go here under the visual path, we have a sequence, and we would like to exchange the particular name, and name is type of the string. So what the name we will provide here, and again we will read that visual path sequence, and we will go here and we will read the particular data, what the data we would like to populate here. So we'll just make that understanding about this structure to this SOAP envelope, header, block, SOAP body, and what inside that body we could add. So a body element is contain calls of the response information. So the element is what containing the actual data which need to be sent between the web services and the calling application. Below means like that how we can utilize like a SOAP body which actually work on the complex type defined in the header section, and a response is the particular visual path name and what the description of that sequence and kind of thing is, and it is sent to the calling application which the web services is called. So we can start with the SOAP body, and after that it will be a very clear when I will show you that both the document style and RCP style. Like here when we create a document style or this RCP style WSDL, then we can easily understand about this structure. So generally what I added here means why I added here. So we just understand about that how the envelope structure is there and how that SOAP message structure follow. So one thing is here is the main thing is SOAP messages. They are normally auto generated by the web services when it is called, and that will be called as a WSDL. And whenever a client application call a method in the web services in the web services will automatically generate a SOAP messages which will have the necessary detail of the data which will be sent from the web services the client application. So as I already discussed in the previously simple SOAP message has the envelope element, header element, body element, and the fault element, where fault means we have some messages error, then we could see there and we could understand there. So fault is not available here, only the SOAP header block is there, fault is there. So fault is just like a optional thing, either we could add in the envelope, either not, it's not a matter. But once we will add as a fault element here, we have to specify some error kind of thing, and through that like communication or something is happen, through that fault we can trace it and sort out the problem. So look this structure of the simple SOAP messages and see what exact element it's means communicating. So as seen in the above SOAP messages, the first part of the SOAP message is envelope element, which is used to encapsulate the entire SOAP messages. The next element of SOAP is a body which contain the detail of the actual messages. So our messages contain web services which has the particular name like a visual path services or kind of thing. I will show you in the code. So the visual path services accept as a parameter of the type of the string that name of the particular what thing we have to specify here, CNAME and kind of thing. So now the above SOAP messages will be the passed between the web services and the client application. So we can see how the useful our information in the client application, and the SOAP messages tell the client application what is the name of the web services and also what parameter it expect, and also what type of the each parameter which taken by the web services. So SOAP envelope element, the first bit of the building a block in the SOAP envelope. The SOAP envelope is used to encapsulate all the necessary detail of the SOAP messages which are exchanging between the web services and client application. The SOAP envelope element is used indicate being and used SOAP messages. So here the following means thing what exactly a structure is there and what exactly creating a SOAP envelope. So every SOAP messages need to have a root element that is called envelope, and every envelope element need to have at least one SOAP body. So if envelope element contain a header element, it must contain no more than one, and it must appear as the first child of the envelope before of the body element. The envelope changes when SOP version will be changed. And fault message is what I explained about that before of that. That is a very optional. Like that, when we required a made to SOP web services, to response return can be a different form, either the successful response, either the error response, and what exact is successful then we would like to say, and error we would like to say something like HTTP 500 kind of thing, then we could utilize this thing. So fault code that designed to be a code like a error, and fault code can be either in any of the like a version mismatch kind of thing, like not understanding kind of thing, or like a environment client or server related thing. So we could add in the particular fault string, and through that fault messages we can inform that who would like to expose, who would like to utilize our services, and we will say that this, because of this problem, our application is not working. So an example of the fault message is also the error is generated the scenario whenever the client try to use the particular method called tutorial means visual path classes and like thing. So basic thing is that when communication is SOAP is done via HTTP protocol, so that particular SOAP, lot of web services used to a standard RPC like a remote procedure call and a style for communication. This was the simplest type of communication, RCP kind of thing and document kind of thing. So I just anytime I just explain. So here RPC style communication is there. So remote procedure call style of the communication, and other is a document style of communication, and both when we create, they will create a different kind of the structure. So exactly, probably one of the best way to see how the SOAP messages get to generate in the actual see a web services in the action. And one other thing is there here in the WSTL where I explained many times. So that element is defined in the web services in options that can be performed and the messages that are invoked. I just will show you that how the SOAP will generate it. So once we can run this particular applications, and once I publish these applications, we'll see that right click, this is a main method, so just Java run is there. So we have one WSTL is automatically will created. So here this WSTL will created. What the value will expose, that question mark and WSTL just add, and it could be create here. So we can see that WSTL directly here. So this kind of WSTL will be created. So I just explained about it will be start with XST schema, and what exact messages get hello world will create it, and it start with the port. So parameter element, it's each and everything will be stored here, and through that we can expose this application through that particular URL, and we can read exact what data is required. So the request response type is the most common operation type, but WS define particular way, and type is one way, request response, notification kind, different way of communication is there. So in the like the port type, they define one way operation called short term, or different communication between of there is there. So a binding is there, like that how WSL binding define the messages format and protocol detail for the web services and request response example. And the binding element has a two attribute like a name or type kind of thing. So the name attribute, you can use any of the name you want and define the name of the building, and the type of attribute point to the port of the building. So in the case of the particular port number, SOAP binding element has a two attribute like a styles transport. So like a style attribute can be RCP or document. So this is a document kind of thing, and I will show you that how the when we will see as use RPC, how it could be a change. So in this case we can documented the transport attribute defined in the SOP protocol to use in this HTTP operations. So the operations element define each operation that particular type of port type expose. So for each operation corresponding SOP action has to be defined, and you must also specify how the input and output encoded. So like that I just go through that application, and this is our document type. So I just want to add here, and we will see that how exact different in both applications. This is a doc type applications, this XML. This is a doc type applications. We will see that how the RCP application we are working. So creating this SOP application, you just have to create a two project. One you have to create a client, and one you have to create a particular RPC or document style where we could create these applications. So you just have to create a two project. Just create a two Java project. If you not find, you just search here in Java project like that, Java project, and next just create a two Java project. First we will see that what exactly in RCP have. So here you just create one packages. You no need to import any library, because what all the thing we could utilize that is available in Java X library, and this Java X library come under the JDK, under the Java development kit itself, in under the rt.jar file. So we no need to add any library here. So here you have to create one particular packages where you would like to add all the code there. Inside that you have to create one interface. So here the interface is very important. Through that only interface we are communicating. So once we have to create this interface here, whenever we could communicate with the client, there this kind of the interface also available there. So if both have the same kind of interface, then we could easily communicate with each other. So here we have to specify few things. First we have to add this web services, add the web services. So through that only JVM can understand this is a endpoint. Here we are creating this particular services. We are going to expose this thing, and this interface could understand about that web services. So we will mark as a web services. That web services, it is a part of JavaX JWS web services, and this annotation have just for the marking this application is utilized for the web services. After that we could like to the particular SOP binding kind of thing. I explain about that. When we going to create the particular envelope, we have to bind that object. So here standard web services will provide a two way to bind it. Either we can bind through the RPC, either we can bind through the document. It's nothing that Once we create a WSTL, the format of WSTL will be changed. Once you create a RPC type, that is a format is a different. Once you create a document type, that particular format is a different. I already copy that document style there in Notepad, and when we create a RCP type, we will also add there. So through that we can compare both and can understand that what exact difference is there. So we have to create this interface, and after that all the method, you would like to create thousands of exposure methods, then you have to write 1,000 type of web services kind of thing, like that, like 1 2. So you have to mark as a web @web method. So particular is a @web method, and here this is just an interface, so you no need to write any body. So we will implement this interface and we will write there that particular implementations. So now just avoid this because we already utilize this application interface is otherwhere. So now I just explain about once more time. We have to just mark each @web services. Through that, the particular interface, when the JVM will running, they can understand this is a web services, and we will treat as what the distributed environment, how the communication and how the WSTL all kind will be created. So the next thing is there, once the envelope will be created, we have to bind it. So we have to make it the @SOAP binding, and we have to provide the particular styles. So style equal to the document kind of thing or RCP. So style equal to either document, either RCP. So yeah, document style or RCP style. So this is a document. So public static final SOAP binding style equal to document, no definition is here, and RCP static final SOAP binding style equal to RCP. Done. So either we have to bind the particular messages through RCP or the document. This is two style is there, two way to binding is there. So we have to mark it as this thing. And after that the particular web method. So their implementation we have to write, just write all the interface and their implementation in same packages. So here if we have to change the particular packages or not change, we have to provide the particular endpoint. So endpoint is a hello world. So we have to specify this endpoint and we will point with complete qualified path. Complete qualified path means this is a hello world, and then we have to provide all the com.visualpath.hello world kind of thing. So web services endpoint interface we have to specify @web services. There here we have to just specify @web services, but when we will write that particular implementation of the particular interface, we have to write @web services, and here we will provide endpoint interface equal to com.visualpath.hello world, and any implementation class, then what the method that hello world we are implementing. So it have only one method, so we have to override the particular method here, and we can write like override and get hello world as a string. We will pass that particular name and we'll just return hello world jax.ws, and we will what the value will pass, we will get that particular value as a string, and here publish. So once we write hello world and hello world IMPL, we have to publish this. So publish, we have to just write a main class. We can publish anywhere. I just make it is a very simple for understanding SOAP applications. I just created public static void main, very easily thing here. So we will create a endpoint.publish. So what is a endpoint? Endpoint is a part of that JavaX XML WS endpoint, this one. So endpoint dot publish, and where we would like to publish, for would like to publish under http localhost 8087 ws hello. So this URL we would like to publish, and after that we would like to see that WSDL. So we have to add here WSDL kind of thing. So now we would like to create a hello, and this is a will pass that particular new hello world IMPL, that particular things. So endpoint will be a published. Sometime you will see that if you run and you will get some error like that. If I run right now, it's already running, and if you will run, then we will get some error. Exception is thread main, server RT exception, server runtime error, and address already used, bind that particular thing. So as we know that the particular port number or IP number here and particular port number at a time only one application could run. So it is already running, so that application is using. So most probably when we would like to create an endpoint with 8080 or something, some application is already using that port. So maybe you will get this kind of address already used exception kind of thing, like a server runtime exception kind of thing you will get. So for that you just create some combination of that particular port that could not utilize here. And otherwise if you would like to utilize that thing, then you just close that particular services and then only you can utilize. So now we will run that, then we will see that this application will run. So once run, no message will become here. Once the run is complete, you will see that this red color is there. So until that WSDL is available, it will be run, and we can expose this thing with the client. So how we could write a client? So here we have only three classes. One interfaces we created. So one interfaces we just have to create an interface, and it mark with @web services, and after that we have to mark as a @soap binding, soap binding style. Here a style dot document how the binding style is there. Either we can create a RCP style, here either we can create a document style. And after that, how many method we could like to write here, we can write all the method and just mark as all the method as a @web method. And here we have to write the particular implementation. So when we are writing this thing here in the interfaces, we have just web services, but when we create that particular implementation, we have to write @web services, and we have to provide an endpoint interface. So endpoint interface, we are using a hello world. So we have to provide com.visualpath.hello world, and we have to write this thing. So again overwrite, and what exactly thing you would like to create this particular method, you will just add your logic. I just added a very simple logic. What the string will add will with just extend that particular string with hello world with jaxws, and we will return it. So now we are going to create one client. So here exactly you have to create one client, that is again same very simple Java program. You just create, I have to create a right click and create a Java program, and here just have to copy this hello world here. So I just copy the same hello world @web services soap binding, and we have to same style equal to style dot document, and we have to hello world, and method web method equal to same method we have to do. So now we are going to write this hello world client. So we just use a URL, that is a kind of the URL java.net URL. The URL you are equal to new URL, and queue name, we have a queue name. So queue name is a type of that javax xml namespace queue name. So we have to create a queue name. So exactly we have to just pass here that particular URL, anything unique name we have to create. Through that queue name hello world service IMPL we are going to expose. So we have to just create a service where we have to pass this URL and queue name. So this service is created. So service dot get port we have to write. So here we have to create a hello world. So hello world, this thing is there. So because of that only this interface is there, and this hello only we can get hello world address, and we will pass that visual path by Amit. So now what happened, it will this visual path dot Amit will be go here in this implementation, and this message is like that. So it will be written like that visual path, and we will take this message here. So it will come like hello world JaxW visual path by Amit. That message we will get back. So just run this application, we will see that what exact thing is happening. Yeah, you'll see that it's getting hello world Jax visual path by Amit. Like that we will send that by Sumit. So now we will get that visual path dot, otherwise we will send here first request will send as Amit, second request will send as Sumit. Visual path by Amit, visual path by Sumit. So we are getting hello world JaxW visual path by Amit and visual path by Sumit. So this is very simple, and I just want to one more thing here, like a document we just want to create a okay, we have this WSTL is already here. Yeah, so this WSTL is already there. So now we will create a RCP document. Style dot RPC, and this one we have to stop, and we have to write this binding style also RPC. Either we will comment it, and now we will comment this RCP, and now we will publish it. Once the publish is done and is running, would like to access. So now we are getting this thing also. So we'll see that WSTL, or same URL, what thing is here. We'll see here. Now we have this kind of thing. So just check, see that difference. Only envelope difference is there, nothing more. So here like that, published by Jax WS RI, it's the same thing, is definition is there. See here type, after that message is there. So message name get hello world as string, and part like a name argument string is there, this thing, and messages will closed here. But here it's not like anything. Here it will start type, and after that XST schema, that schema is not here and there. So messages is like that same, almost. This message is like that here, message name get hello world as a string, and after that part name, and here parameter is there, element is there, TNS. So just you have just create, this is your task, just create the same application, compare the thing and what exactly the different binding style you will find, and just check that what thing is available in the RCP and what is not available in the documents, and compare that, and try to understand how the different envelop and why this thing is there, and when we could use our document style and when we could use RCP style, why exactly two binding style is there. If document is fit for all the application, why RCP will come. Just try to understand these things. And this is a very simple example you can create. I'm not thinking you will face any problem, because you no need to add any library, anything. You just have to create one Java project. So you just create a 2 Java project, one for the web service services for exposing this thing, and one for the client. So once the publish the particular thing they are running, you just run the particular client and try to access the services, and I'm thinking it will work very good, and you will not face any problem, any issue. And this is a very simple example. You could modify that, and you can add many things like that, soft communications, many communications like a JAX-B, JAX-RS, or binding, different binding. You will create a multiple XML kind of thing. You just change the data binding kind of thing. So you will create a many thing, but this is a very basic example. Through that you can create any kind of the project. If you understand one small example, you can create a build big project also, so it's not a problem. Just go through that, this 5 Java classes, and you can understand each and everything, I'm sure. So thanks for watching our video.